Okay, everybody, welcome back. Change your perspective, change your awareness, change your life. I am Dr. Michelina, AF, hashtag that felon doctor. And I want to finish up talking about our seasonal life cycle in our human lives and a little bit in how we can look to nature to really get a good understanding. And this is what nobody likes to talk about. It's the winter of your life, right? Nobody wants to talk about the winter. Nobody wants to talk about the dying out process. Nobody wants to talk about, leaving this earth. Because it's all we know, right? And so it's like, well, where am I going? What am I doing? So we get really uncomfortable. Plus, 75 to 100, looks a lot, in a lot of ways, like 0 to 5. Like 95 to 100, if you do it the way a lot of people do it, which is to let their bodies atrophy and let things kind of fall by the wayside, and sometimes you can't help that. It looks a lot, you go out the same way you came in. A lot of times you're in diapers, other people are taking care of you, you don't have a lot of hair, like you go out the way you came in. And anybody who knows that, who knows the cycles, knows that that's true, right? We see the life cycle is very much a cyclical thing. And so I'm laughing. It's not really funny. It is what it is, right? And so the sooner we come to terms with that, the better for everybody. Now, obviously, not everybody gets to 75 to 100, and not everybody's, 75 to 100 looks the same. Some people at 75, you're like, wow, you look 50. Like, we love that. And some people, at 75 is like, wow, you look 100. What happened? And I don't mean to sound, terribly rude here, but like, life can be tough. And it certainly really does catch up to you at the end there. And so what do you do in the winter season of your life, right? In the winter season of the cold, your girl hibernates. I'm hibernating. But in the 75 to 100 years in your life, the best thing to do is enjoy. Really is enjoy. Because like we don't enjoy, really. This is why people who are 75 to 100 are so wise. They just enjoy. They just be. They're like, I don't give a crap what anybody thinks. Now, if you can do that earlier on in like the summer of your life, you're going to enjoy a lot faster. We experience in our spring, and then we flipped somehow our summer and our winter. So the summer of our lives, you have everybody who's like the most stressed out they've ever been, even though they're in the heightened bloom time of their life. And in the winter of their life, even though they're decaying out, they're in the most peaceful, chill, I don't give a crap mentality. And we've got it backwards. Well, let me stop. It's not that we have it backwards. It's just we can have that zen all throughout. We just don't. We wait until it's the end of our time, the end of the road, to really enjoy and just be and just be like, all right. Like, it's why you see like a lot of older people who are just enjoying life. Or the other thing is they're miserable, they're cranky, life has worn them down and they're like, I'm ready to be done with this shit, because I didn't like life when I was 35. I sure as hell don't like life now when I'm 95. It's all a mental thing, right? The only thing that is true, no matter what, physically, is we're going to age. We live in a dispensation of time where time is the construct by which we measure everything. Time is the construct we measure everything by. Money is not. Don't let people fool you. Money is a man-made currency. Time is the currency created by an entity much higher than all of us. And time is what matters in this dispensation, in this last 6,000 years, right? Because really, we've only been here, if you know anything about biblical time tracking, from Adam to Christ was 4,000 years. From Christ to now is 2020, almost 3 years. We've only been here 6,000 years. Not that much, honestly. In the grand scheme of this billions years old earth, it's not that much. And so that's the kind of stuff you realize in the winter of your life is like, shit, like nothing really matters that much. Not really. Why'd I take it all so seriously? The thing that matters is like being, enjoying, living, experiencing. being grateful for the experiences that we have. And so, you know, people who are in their 75 to 100 quadrant of life, they really have a wealth of wisdom. And you see it a lot now on Instagram. It's like there's people who will ask older people, like, what's your one piece of advice? And they have like these little signs. And it's almost always like, be happy, be kind, like, don't take it too seriously. Like, it's really just like, we are our most full of levity when we're older, because it's just like, who cares? Like, I'm old now, I don't give a crap. And it's like, that mentality can serve you for always. Like, okay, life is good, what am I upset about? We don't do it enough. We don't do it enough, honestly. Enjoy life. Joyce Meyer, one of my favorite preachers, teachers, Joyce Meyer has her whole series is enjoying everyday life. And that's, again, for Christians, but like, that's for everybody. Enjoy your life, dude. And we have to learn how to do it, because we get conditioned in the spring and the summer of our lives to work. And then we get to the fall and the winter, and it's like, now it's time to play? Like, that feels weird. My generation is flipping this around. My generation's like, this sucks. I'm not here for it. What in the actual F? Not buying the crap we're getting sold. COVID really helped crack this open, where people started to question, like, why am I working like my life depends on it? And it's because your life does depend on it for a little bit, because we were trained for that to be the case. So the summer of our life becomes the winter of our life, mentally and emotionally. That's why you got a lot of people walking around depressed. They're in the winter season of their life. They're in a heavy season of their life, mentally and emotionally. Physically, they're in their spring and summers. There's no need for it. As someone who has experienced some heavy depression and heavy anxiety and lots of panic attacks and lots of suicidal ideations, thoughts, and plans, let me tell you, I'm in the summer of my life, and I was the most depressed I'd ever been in my life. 30 years old, I was the most suicidal I've ever been. Why do I have a winter in the summer of my life? Because I had some heavy circumstances and I made some bad decisions. True. Okay, yeah, for sure. 100%. And so, wintertime, 75 to 100, a lot of times they're either A, on the way out, ready to go. It's a cranky kind of a thing. Or B, they're on their way out like, glad I made it this long. That's kind of the way it goes if you've met anybody who's, you know, older. And again, 75 is like the December where everything is still okay and there's still stuff to look forward to. And then like 100 is like the February where you're like, can we just wrap this? I will, now that we've come to the end of that, the year cycle works like that too. March, April, May, in the spring of your life, 0, 5, 10, you know what I mean? It's the spring of your life. You're the greenest, new things are blooming, things are kind of blossoming when you're a teenager. Yeah, I guess it's more like 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. I don't really know. 0 to, I'm kind of coming up with this as I go, but numerically, right? And then June, July, August, the summer of your life is 20s, 30s, 40s, you know? I guess we could do it decade-wise. And then September, October, November, fall of your life is like 50s, 60s, 70s, you know? And then December, January, February, it's like 80, 90, 100. It's like you know what I mean? It's like the months also, because they're seasonal, right? It's cyclical. It's not different. It is dependent on the sun, and the sun doesn't change. We move around it. It doesn't move around us. It's the same kind of a thing. And so, you know, the other thing about why I do it March to February, which the new year is coming. So I'm just going to say this, and I know it's going to probably radically blow your mind, and you can look it up, and sorry, not sorry. March is the beginning of a new year. March is the beginning of the new year. The spring equinox is the beginning of the new year. I know we're not going to like that. I'll tell you why you should know. Because one, who in their right mind is starting the new year in the middle of winter? And the answer is nobody. That doesn't happen. It doesn't even make any sense. It literally logically makes zero sense. However, two, if you look to the names of the months, right? September is our 9th month, but the prefix set means 7. Oh, that makes sense now, doesn't it? Wait a minute. Hold on, Michelina, what? October, our 10th month? Octo means 8. Octagon, octopus, 8 sides, 8 legs. November, Nuv is 9. December, Deca, Dec is 10. January is our 11th month. February is our 12th month. The zodiac also does this. March, Aries is the first zodiac sign because it's the first month. So why I'm saying spring, March, April, May, is the spring of our lives, because it is, right? So our lunar calendar is constantly shifting. And so we have our Gregorian calendar sort of lunarly, but like that thing's only 28 days long, and we have days and months that are 30. The time construct, don't let me start it on time as a construct, because like we set our clocks forward and back every year. Okay, we're always playing with time. We have leap years. We're just like, oh, here's an extra day every 4 years. Like, really, don't get me started on time. I mean, it's important to this series because time is how we measure our physical reality. But even still, time, as we think of it as such a concrete fixture, it's literally not at all. Because what's 5 o'clock here in, North Carolina is, 6 hours behind Germany. And 12 hours behind, whatever's on the other side of the country. I can't even think. The other side of the world, not the country. So like, time is a construct. And it is important for us to understand how malleable it is, but also in some ways how fixed it is. Physically, we only get 100 years. And so if you're living the summer of your physical life, but the emotional winter of your life doesn't serve you, you're gonna get to the physical winter of your life. You are. Why are you living it mentally and emotionally now? I know that's easier said than done. Listen, I've worked through it. I've worked past it. I've worked beyond it. I make sure it doesn't come up now. I've disciplined my mind. Feelings follow thoughts, which I'm going to talk more about, not now. But yeah, anyway, I could keep going. I'm not going to, because seasons of our lives, right? Seasons and signs. This is exactly why we've started an academy. Like Seasons and Signs Academy, my company, launches in January. I've been working on it for 3 years. Mind, Body, Spirit Academy, bring you back to home, bring you back to self, bodily, mentally, and spiritually. And so it's important. It's the best way I have found to be your most authentic, is to come home to yourself on multiple different levels in multiple different ways. And so if you like what I'm doing here, you can certainly get more of it in depth when the academy opens in January. And there's other coaches that'll be there too, because it is a school of sorts, so that we can get more people to coach and teach in their expertise. I'm not a body coach, and I'm sure as hell not a spiritual coach, I'll tell you that right now. And so I've been coached in those things. Everybody needs coaching in those things. But I won't go into that yet either, because today's not the day for it. So if you like what we're doing here, this is the end of the season series for now. There's more, actually. If you want to jump back, if you're going to see a Michelina that's about 50 pounds heavier if you go back on these YouTube videos, because like we got 100 and something videos. So when I first started recording about 2 years ago, I was much heavier. 2021, I lost about 50 pounds. But when I started recording, you're going to see a different Michelina. Well, the same, but a little chunkier. And that's fine. Got to love ourselves in all seasons. And I talk a lot more about certain seasons and signs there. I've got 2 different episodes of Seasons and Signs, which if you're interested in that concept and that construct, check it out. I'm obviously obsessed with it because I named my academy after it. So yes, check that out. Otherwise, we'll be bringing you new content. Almost in the new year, quote unquote new year, quote unquote new year. And I will see you guys. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video.